Rain, fire, wind, and ice are all events that can dramatically affect your poultry production business. Based on recent data, it's been estimated the American poultry industry lost close to 2 million birds in production due to weather-related events in 2022. No matter if you're a broiler, pullet, or breeder grower, a safe and secure flock is the mainstay of your livelihood, and our communities rely on this production for a nutritious and available food supply.
The primary goal after a storm is to make sure that you and your family are safe, then your neighbors and those in your community. Once you have that under control, it's time to start thinking about your farm. But it's important you do this in an organized and safe way. First thing is to determine if it's safe to be near the houses. Approach the farm or group of houses with caution and take a good look at the power supply. Does anything look out of place? Does it look like a power line might make contact with something it shouldn't? Are there trees or limbs crossing over the lines, or have they pulled any down? If so, stop immediately and call the power company. Don't risk getting electrocuted. Don't forget that a downed power line can still be live, and if it's in contact with anything like a building, a feed bin, a piece of equipment, or even the ground, that could be electrified as well. Call the power company and tell them you have a live, downed power line.
If you know it's safe to approach and the houses themselves look relatively undamaged, the first place to check is your generator shed to make sure your backup power is operating properly. In almost every storm situation, power can be interrupted to the farm, so generators are a huge priority. If there's not physical damage to your poultry houses, your birds should never know anything is happening. Prior planning and proper maintenance will help ensure that's the case. Assuming that's been done, now you're concerned with the fuel level and the load on your generator. It's recommended that you have at least 48 hours of fuel on hand for emergencies. Check the manual on your generator to see how much it uses per hour based on load. Some questions to consider are, if a fuel truck is going to be needed, are they going to be able to get to your fuel tank and get to your farm? If you're going to get fuel yourself, are there stations that are going to have power and have enough fuel? If you have prior notice of the storm, it might be a good idea to purchase fuel in advance or have some fuel cans at the ready. Know where the reliable fuel stations are located if they have backup power. There are also a few things you should monitor on your generator as well. Listen to how it's operating. Check the generator gauges and make sure they are all in the normal ranges. If something is out of place, call your generator service immediately. Sometimes they may be able to walk you through procedures over the phone to get you through a problem. One major consideration is the diesel storage fuel tank. If the fuel has been sitting for a long time, or your storage tanks are older, or it's been a while since your last service, you're at a higher risk for clogged fuel filters. Having several extra fuel filters on hand and tools to replace them available on site is very important.
If none of the power is working and the generator is not running, locate your automatic transfer switch to see if it is in emergency mode. If not, you may have to manually switch it over to emergency power mode. This should cause the generator to crank. If not, you may need to manually start the generator using the bypass switch. But be careful, be sure to put the transfer switch back into normal or neutral before manually cranking a generator to keep from damaging the generator. Once the generator is running and the transfer switch is in emergency mode, you can switch each house back on one by one.
These steps can help you with short-term backup power needs until the electric company can reestablish power to your farm. In the meantime, don't forget to also further check the integrity of the house, the other equipment, and the birds.